they're told no. And so they accept no. And so that's it, right? But the question is no correct?
Some Arkansans struggling to pay their bills denied a public defender in a system designed to appoint you one. Working for You has spent weeks diving into documents and found some people barely making minimum wage, others unemployed, and an incoming college student were all denied.
Tonight, KARK is asking why. Our Mitch McCoy working for You uncovering numbers top state officials say they didn't know about. Mitch?
Yeah, Bob and Laura, hello. We don't know the misdemeanor charges those individuals were facing, but state records obtained by Working for You reveal the public defender handled 48 cases over 9 years in district courts across Pope County.
Once you're in the system, normally you never get out.
The judicial process.
Everybody stands out here.
Can be confusing.
Through these cones.
Like the maze.
And you'll end up over here on this side.
Outside Pope County District Court.
And you'll come up about where them steps are. You'll enter on that ramp. Right over here.
A line Devi Doty says he waited more than 2 hours in on misdemeanor marijuana charges. Records show Doty is one of more than 6,000 Pope County District Court cases in 2020.
It's screwed up my whole job career. I wanted to be a police officer before this started.
Doty claims the weed belonged to his friend and thought it'd be a slap on the wrist.
Screw it, save money and everything, getting a lawyer. I'll just go ahead and plead guilty. Well, he's like, well, this is going to be jail time and large fines.
He says he could not afford a private attorney, so he filed an affidavit of indigency that formally requests a public defender. It shows he had $240 cash and $50 in his checking account. Monthly expenses begin with rent at $300, $150 in food, and $40 in transportation. He also has a 2-year-old little girl, and his hourly job pays $12.50 an hour.
A little over $1,000 a paycheck.
Pope County District Court Judge Don Bourne, who's been on the bench since 2001, denied Doty a public defender.
He looks at somebody like, oh, you messed up, you're a bad person, let's make the most out of this.
State law defines a person who may need a public defender as someone in substantial financial hardship, or what the person's monthly expenses are, their income, the seriousness of the charges they're facing, and any other financial obligations. The list goes on and on. But only a judge can appoint a public defender. We took Doty's affidavit to Greg Parrish.
Can I see that 1 second, if you don't mind?
He's the executive director of the Arkansas Public Defenders Commission, also a former prosecutor. His opinion?
You're asking me, is this person entitled to a public defender, right? Yes.
Doty's not the only one. There are several other affidavits we found, from people unemployed to an incoming college student with 3 children and a mom of 2. All denied. Parrish says he would have expected them be approved.
I would expect to be appointed on that one.
District courts handle mostly misdemeanor criminal cases, and between 2012 and 2020, state records show the public defender handled 48 cases in Pope County. Other counties similar to its size, like Crawford, Working for You found the court approved 5,200 cases to the public defender. Crittenden County, 2,600, and in Lonoke County, 3,563 during the same 9 years.
I need to get a real good grasp on where else it might be happening.
5 or 6 per year, less than once a month.
David Camps practices law in Arkansas.
You have to assume that some percentage of these people that went through district court were innocent and were denied an attorney and were wrongfully convicted.
Judge Bourne, in a written statement, says he appointed the public defender in 3 cases the week of October 4th. He goes on to say, quote, if the defendant tells me that he is employed, I do not normally appoint the public defender, end quote. I went to Pope County trying to ask more questions, but a clerk turned me away, saying the judge would only communicate with me via email. So I sent a message asking how public defender appointments could be so sharply different from other counties his size. In Judge Bourne's reply, he says, quote, most people that come to district court, maybe as many as 95%, plead guilty. They want their cases to be over with, and they do not ask for an attorney. Judge Bourne says he always tries to make the right decision about public defender appointments.
The client could not pay. He didn't have any money. He was unemployed. He was on disability. He was hearing impaired.
Kelly Ward practices law, took on a case pro bono after an intellectually disabled man facing harassment charges and up to 1 year in jail, she says was denied a public defender by Judge Bourne.
My eventual client would kind of hang around downtown Russellville, and everybody knew him, and he had a dog that he took everywhere with him, and he would actually push the dog in a stroller.
Ward's client died before it could go to court.
And there was just no way that he could walk through that process by himself.
I don't see why the citizen should suffer because of a judge who was allowed to run his courtroom unconstitutionally for so long.
Camp says the state needs to step in and figure out why this is happening.
In a case like this, where you have known constitutional violation occurring routinely and consistently, then I think time's of the essence.
You brought the issue to me.
The Public Defenders Commission says it's already sent notice to staff across Arkansas.
I want to know, what's it look like in your district court? Now, are we getting appointed? What's going on?
Him making you get a lawyer makes the lawyer money. Him coming up here and getting them fines paid, that makes them money. It's all part of a system, man.
Doty gives his stamp of approval for the state to figure out why he was denied. It's important to remember the public defender is only available if jail time is a sentencing option. I found one public record showing Judge Bourne, in his 20-year stint on the bench, has been reprimanded at least once. It was back in 2014 when he donated to a political campaign. We have Judge Bourne's full statement, including a statement from the ACLU of Arkansas. They're already sounding off on KARK.com. And Bob and Laura, it's worth mentioning, while asking for some of these records from the state, we found another county that has very similar numbers to Pope County, and we've already sent off our public records request.
What I think is interesting that a lot of people out there will even know is that everyone has the thought that everything is transcribed in the courtroom.
Yes.
But that is not the case in Arkansas and not the case in these courts. So we can't go back and say, well, just exactly what happened in court, because there's no record of it.
It's actually made it incredibly difficult to try and prove from our side, from a reporter's side, what has happened in this courtroom. And thankfully, we have these affidavits of indigency, which, when I was talking with the clerk about getting these, she said these were the only ones they could find. One of them we received before it hit the shredder. She said it was on the shredder because they were preparing to shred it, because district courts in Arkansas are not a record of the court. They do not have to transcribe. They do not have to keep detailed case files. After a certain amount of time lapses, and they cannot appeal that misdemeanor case.
Wow. Very interesting,
Yeah,
Mitch. And I know this will not be the end of your investigations on this.
All right,
All right.
definitely.
Keep us posted, Mitch.
Thanks.
Thanks very much.